So as we make our way down onto our backs, again, getting that heart lift, that chest lift. This is a spine and side body focus class. So even though the heart is lifted, it's also a little bit of a back bend, a passive back bend, lifting the thoracic spine and just getting a little bit of room opening up through the chest and the collarbone area. Take the arms out wide, palms up or down, whatever you'd like there. Reach through those fingers. And then kind of squeeze those shoulder blades underneath your chest so that you feel the shoulder tips begin to fall away from the ears. Constructive rest, feet wide, knees together, or opening up the hips, maybe taking cobra pose, or if you're near a coffee table, propping up the calves on a coffee table like legs up the wall. So we'll just take a couple opening breaths here, closing down the eyes. Arms are out wide so you don't feel the body rise and fall, but what I'd like you to do is feel the spaciousness you're creating in the upper shoulders, upper back. Taking in a full breath here. Take a pause of that breath at the top. You're so full, maybe one little more sip. And then let it go. And as you let the breath go, let the body go. Let it sink down to the mat. Let it feel all the support. So maybe if this is the only time of the day you get to have somebody hold you up, enjoy 3 full rounds of breath, knowing that Mother Earth has your back. Big breath in. And out. And if I go silent, it's just because my eyes are closed and I'm breathing. You do the same. Again, on your last round of breath, when you're ready for that big inhale, draw as much breath into the body as you can. And as you pause it at the top, take one more sip, one more, little more air in, and then release. And as you release the breath, if you're in cobra pose, draw the knees together. If you're in constructive rest, just heel toe them to the center. Let's all gently roll off to the side and come back down onto your back body. And as you come onto the back, no props now. Stretch long, fingers away from toes. And as you stretch, the fingers high, back of the hands resting on the floor, slide them a couple inches right and left. So that from the belly button down, you're like one leg, but just from the top, feel into small movement here, but the side ribs, the soft tissue under the arms, the stretch through the wrist. If you interlace, maybe press that the palms away from you. So you're stretching into the wrist. Again, pulling the fingers apart in that interlace. And then relax all of that and just bring your arms to cactus. So if cactus, meaning your forearms are resting on your mat and that's just too much into the shoulders, find that wide V with the arms. So like you're making that Y shape with the whole body. And then keeping, again, upper body nice and still, just slide the heels over to the right. So just again, hips down the legs. Similar to a half banana pose. Take a full breath into the upper body. Release the breath. Release the body. If you want to go a little bit deeper, just pick up that left ankle, prop it right over the right. Again, square off those hips so you're not rolling off to one side. And enjoy 3 breaths right into the left rib cage. Big breath in. Pause it again at the top. Another sip and let it go. Twice more on your own. Big breath in. If the ankles are crossed as you release the breath, little inhale, nice, gentle, your own natural inhale. Bring the heels back to center. Take a moment, maybe shimmy the legs a little bit. And then slide the left heel off to the left. Right heel is going to go over there and join it. And if it can't, bring it in just a little bit, because I'd like your hip points to be nice and even. And again, the lower pelvis belly straight up to the ceiling. As you arrive here, again, just check out this side if it feels right for you. Maybe the right ankle crosses. Take the breaths now right into the right side of the body. Big breath in, ribs expand. Pause it at the top. As you let the breath go, unclench the glutes, soften the shoulders, notice the jaw. 2 more big breaths just like that. And then releasing any control of the breath, come back to your own natural rhythm. Unravel the ankles, draw the heels back to center, maybe a little shimmy, maybe one more full body stretch. And then draw the knees into the chest, maybe wrap the hands around the shins or maybe the forearms, draw it in a little bit further. Draw the belly in, like you could tuck the whole belly underneath those floating ribs. Big breath in. And on your exhale, pick up those shoulder blades. See if you can draw the nose towards the knees or the forehead towards the knees. Again, not really forcing this, just beginning to open up the whole back spine, tailbone all the way through C1, the top of the neck. Take a breath in here. Pause it at the top. This time, hold the breath. Hold the breath, squeeze everything in, lift that tailbone up. And then relax. Shoulder blades, back of the head, come down to the mat. Release the legs, let the feet come down to the mat. Coming into a bridge position here. Arms beside the body, palms down. If you'd like a little bit more leverage, you can bend those elbows so that the back of the arms press down firmly beside your body. Take the breath in, draw the belly in, kind of take a tuck into that tailbone, just a little, so you can feel the low back fully supported on the mat. And then as you're ready, we're going to press into the feet. We're going to come up to a bridge. So big breath in, press the feet, lift the hips. Let the weight to let the body flow to the space between the shoulders. Pause there. Notice your breath. No constriction in the throat. No heaviness in the back of the neck. You're fully supported, shoulder tip to shoulder tip. Big breath in. See if you can lift the hips a little bit higher. Maybe beginning to notice some length from the knees to the hip points to the shoulders. Draw one more big breath in. And then on your exhale, your choice, you can come down nice and slow, curved, or everything arriving at one time. And that, my friends, is a personal preference, just depending on any spinal injuries you might have had. Once you arrive, let the spine settle on the mat. Release the arms back to a T, walk the feet wide, and just slow, nice windshield back and forth. Let's release the hips, release the spine. And then once you're over to one side, we're just going to go all the way over to all fours. We'll counter that bridge with a couple cat and cows. So set yourself up here, stacking through your joints. Fingers are spread wide, toes right behind the knees, belly, pelvis again, Mula Bandha. Pull it in. Notice your breath, and as you're ready for an inhale, let that belly fall, let the heart shine forward, tailbone rises. Releasing the breath slow, draw it all in, tailbone in, round through the spine, press through the palms so you upper back rounds in as the chin tucks in. And from here, let's just take 3 or 4 more. Good. Coming back nice and easy to that table, neutral table, spine like a bench here. So we're not sagging down, it's nice and straight. Keep the hips where they are, walk the hands forward, one at a time or both. Coming into that heart melting pose, chest comes down towards the mat, forehead comes towards the mat as those fingers crawl forward. Big stretch through the spine. Take the breath in. One more breath here. And then we're going to drop down to the forearms, send the knees back so you can sink the hips back, coming into that Sphinx pose. Sphinx pose now, fingers drag those elbows towards your ribs, hands towards your body. Let that lift from the belly button up to the sternum. Go long, not high. Find that space again between each of the vertebrae. Big breath. And maybe as you breathe here, you just take a moment, gaze over your left shoulder, see how far back you can get to see maybe that left foot. A little bit of stretching through the side body. Bring it back, slow, slow, slow. Deep breath, back to center. Exhale the breath as you maybe gaze over the right shoulder, over towards that right foot. Inhale, back to center. Place the hands right underneath the shoulders. Tuck the toes in. Press your way back to your table. Send it all the way back to your child's pose. We're going to do that modified vinyasa, so you can take any or all of it. So first find the stretch, tailbone all the way to the crown of the head. And then as you're ready, let's begin. Inhale, we'll come to table. Exhale, we're going to slide it right back forward like we were, but finding a modified up dog. Inhale, back to table. Exhale, return, extended child's pose. Twice more with your breath. Inhaling up to that table. Exhaling, hips lower, heart rises. Send it back with breath. Last one, like this. Smooth it out now. No need to pause and table. Smooth the breath out, smooth the body out. Stay in your extended child's pose. We're going to add on down dog and plank. You take what your body needs this morning. Big inhale, let's bring it up. Exhale, brings it forward. Tuck those toes under, lift the hips up and back for your down dog. Wave the spine forward, shoulders over wrist now, finding that plank, strong plank. Press back to your dog. Send those hips back. Lower the knees gently on the inhale. Relax the breath and the body, child's pose on the exhale. Inhale flows up. Exhale flows forward. Inhale flows to downward dog. Wave the spine forward. Plank pose. Send the hips high. Dog pose. And drop the knees. Child's pose. 2 more like that. Use your breath with each movement. Last one. Inhale up, send it forward. Use your breath. Child's pose at the end, so take your time to get there. Extend those arms forward one more time. See if you could sink the chest and the head down just a bit. Flip the palms so that you're on the back of the hand. Let's release some of that tension in the wrist. Make a fist. Draw the knuckles in towards you. Send the thumbs right and left like you're going to hitchhike. Send it out. Drop it down. So just make some rotations here. Maybe fist bump the knuckles together to get a nice stretch on the outside. Maybe send the knuckles away from each other to get a stretch on the inside of the wrist. Maybe circle. Slide the arms now as you flip the palms over, out to the side, right and left. Stretch long again. Then bring the arms beside the body, maybe reaching for the heels. Let the elbows fall. Let the shoulders round. Let the forehead, the third eye, center and be supported by the earth. With your knees together, breathe into the back of the lungs. Breathe into the back of the ribs. Exhale, everything melts to the earth, Mother Earth. This is where I'll leave you this morning. Pause your device. Take a couple minutes. Your own natural breath before you start your day. Namaste. So our Wednesday morning practice is normally a core practice, 20-minute core. This morning, summer solstice, first day of summer, the longest day of sunlight in the year, and International Yoga Day. So today, I'd kind of like us, if we could, bring the big toes together, let the knees go wide, and let's just find a little child's pose. Why? Because in this child's pose, the heart is close to the earth, the third eye is resting on the earth, and we're inward. There's no sunlight yet to begin our 108. So find your space, light your candle, start your music, create your yoga space. And with the knees wide, just feel into the breath. And what's important here is, As you feel into the breath, let the breath feel into the body. Let it touch all those little areas that might be a little tight, might be a little sticky. Maybe begin to roll through the shoulders. We're going to warm up a little bit before we begin. I'm going to keep the count for you so you don't have to worry. And if I go faster than you with my breath and my movement, again, it's no worries. You're with us. You're with this whole worldwide group right now on the United Nations lawn right now in East Europe here. This is the day we all come together. This is the prayer we have for our world, ourselves, our family, our community, our nations. One day to come together, and can we just lay it down on the mat, lay it down. And whatever the intention that maybe you burned in your little candle fire to get rid of, to release, to no longer carry, bring it to mind. When I release what I need to release, I create space. So what am I letting go of to create more space for the next half of the year? And as I create the space, I draw in the breath. And as I draw in the breath, I bring in the prana, the life energy. And I let it fill every part that I can. And then I release what's not mine to carry anymore. I release it all to the mat, to this practice, to Mother Earth. Take 5 nice rounds of breath here. Big breath in and slow breath out. Fill the back of the lungs, back of the ribs. Exhale slowly. Hips sink back towards the heels. The chest lowers, the heart comes down, the forehead comes down. And then I pull it back up again like a half lift and then release. So just maybe a little bit of a flow here. Bring the chest up and forward and back down. Feel into the body. Release what we want to release and get ready to fill up with what we want to receive. 3 breaths. Big inhale. Let the breath go. Bring the hands underneath the shoulders, press into the palms to lift the torso up, and then bring yourself to a seat. So maybe that seat is up on a block or a bolster. Cross-legged, legs can go wide, legs can go long. Close down the eyes and just settle the hands on the thighs, shoulder tips back so that the heart is shining forward. Tall, straight, erect spine, right? And in my beautiful book, I love her, Melody Beattie, today, and I sent it to you, June 21st. You're right where you need to be. Now close down your eyes and breathe here. You're right where you need to be on your path, guided in just the right place for you today. Many times on my journey, I stopped short, convinced I would never find the place I was trying to find, only to discover that it was right in front of me all the time. I had gone there instinctively, gone right where I needed to go, right where I knew I was heading. There is a part of us that knows where we need to be, understands where we really want to go. There's a place in us that has a map. And even if our eyes and our conscious mind can't see it, can't figure it out, or aren't certain, believe me, it's there. If you're spinning in circles, feeling lost and confused, trying to figure out where you need to be, and not at all certain where you're going, stop. Breathe deeply. Look around. You're right where you need to be. You've been there all along. Take a full deep breath in. And on your exhale, just like again, the sand coming from the timer, just let everything sink to the sit bones, shoulders soft. We'll begin our sun salutations, 20 quarters. So on your inhale, take the arms out and find your prayer overhead. Maybe the gaze goes to the prayer and you draw it into the heart. That's one. If you can do 108, you're right there with everybody in the world here. Inhale, reach the arms out, reach the arms up. Whatever that intention to let go, draw it into the heart. With the breath, let it go. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. I'm leading the fifth one. We'll take 15 more, your breath, your body, hopefully your music and your candlelight. Take your time, inhaling to reach the gaze, the prayer overhead, and draw it into the heart and on your own. Make it expansive. Maybe Ujjayi breath, constricting it in the throat so that the mind can just trace it through the body. Find whatever you have left. I think I have 3. So as my arms reach out, I gather it all in. The sun's radiance, my intention to the heart space. Join me, 2 more. Finishing up. Thumbs press into the sternum, finger pads press into each other. We think of this as a sign of prayer, but it's not. It's uniting the right side, the left side, the yang, the yin, our masculine, our feminine. Press into your hands, settle the shoulders, close the eyes. I release everything that is not mine to carry. I let it go so that I can create space in this practice, in this season of summer, to bring in everything new, refreshing, and ready for me. Deep breath in. Slow breath out. Come on to hands and knees, just as a little bit of a transition. And if it's not too bad on your knees, make your way into a kneeling pose. So you're resting on the shins. If that's too much on the knees, grab that block and just set it right underneath the hips. So again, we can make the 108 sun sounds as powerful and dynamic as you want. But this practice for me, and hopefully for you, is to be comfortable, to go inward, to receive what we need to receive. So we're going to add a little bit of movement. We've done our 20. I'm bringing the bead over. On your inhale, just rest the hands lightly, soften the shoulders, away down the back. Face is soft, close down the eyes. Find the full deep breath in. And then we're going to take 20, coming up to a kneeling position, the same quarter sun salutations. So you don't need to look at the device. Just feel what you feel in your body and move with breath. We're here for 20 as you're ready. On the inhale, draw the belly in. Big breath in. Lift the hips, arms out to the side, arms reach up, hands to heart as the hips sink. Big breath, follow those arms out, up overhead. Draw them into the heart as you rest back down. That's 2. We're here for 20. You take it now. Breath, movement, expansion, space. Full breath. Each movement, make it big. And let it go. Let all that air go as you sink back down. Opening the front body, the back body, the quads, the hips. Preparing for our final flow. I'm on my last one. You take your time with breath. As you come back down in your time, hips to heels, hips to a block or a bolster. Take a forward bow over the thighs. Bring the arms beside the body. Allow the shoulders here to relax down. So find some space in the back of the heart, the shadow space, and breathe into your shadow space. Maybe finding a little bit of a crack to let the light in to areas that maybe you don't want to share. And that's okay. Breathe in there. Breathe out there. And know that you're in a very safe space, a supported space on your mat. One more full breath in. Expand the back ribs. Find length in the tailbone through the spine to the crown of the head. Full breath. And then we're going to take our modified moving vinyasa. And again, I think you've done this with me. We'll move from child's to table to a modified up dog, back table to child's. You can take that option. You can take the down dog plank edition. We're going to move for 20. You take whatever flows in your body with your breath. Full breath in. Sweep the arms out to the side, stretch fingertip to fingertip, and bring them towards the top of the mat. Crawl them forward, soften through the soft tissue under the arms. Let those shoulders fall. Again, this practice is a lot of shoulders. So take this moment to just feel into the shoulders. And then you'll know how to modify the practice as you need to modify it. Full breath. And on your inhale, bring yourself up to table. And on your exhale, shift it forward, hips down, heart up. Just enough of an arch there to wake up the spine. Come back to your table and send it back to your child's. On your own, inhaling up, exhaling forward, movement, hips, spine, chest, and shoulders. Send it back, child's pose. So a salutation is a salute. It's not a certain asana. It's the meeting of the heart and the mind and the soul, saluting the sun and the day and the season. So don't get wrapped up in having to do an intense pose. Just flow with breath. Okay, we're gonna take one more like that. And then you'll return to that active, extended child's pose. So maybe here the hips sink a little bit deeper, the finger pads reach a little bit further, the chest sinks a little bit deeper, and that third eye center joins Mother Earth. Take a breath. You can stay with that same movement with breath. If you want to add on the down dog and the plank, again, we move with breath. Take what you need, leave everything else as you're ready. Big breath in. Come up to your fours. Bring it forward. Lift the heart. Tuck the toes. Lift the hips. Downward facing dog. You press those hips back and away. Flow the spine forward so shoulders come over the wrists. Strong strength. Plank. Press back into your dog. And lower the knees to your child's. We're going to take 10 on your own here, any way you want to do it. Inhaling and exhaling. I'm going to lead the full flow. You take what you want. So maybe you bypass all the formal poses and you just let that fluid breath bring you to whatever movement is called for in your body. Don't think about tabletop to up dog. Just come forward and lift the heart. Find space as you lift the hips and send them back behind you. Find strength as you inhale back into a plank pose. Send it back to your dog pose. Drop your knees to your child's pose. We have 5 more, your breath. I'm coming into my last one. You follow your breath and movement, and we'll all come collectively to meet back in extended child's. Fingertips forward, arms active. Take your time to get there. And when you do, rest the ribs on the thighs. Let the thighs feel the breath as it expands through the lungs. Reach the fingers forward. Press into the heels of the hands and lift the fingertips up towards the ceiling just to get a stretch, a little bit of a stretch into that wrist. Press the heels of the hands away so your chest drops, length through the arms. And make a fist with the fingers. Curl the knuckles in, bring the knuckles down to the mat, and get the stretch through the outer wrist. Big breath. Maybe drop the forearms, flare the fingers, get some movement now. We're going to be using those wrists, so let them warm up any way that feels good. And then we'll release that and we'll circle those hands back down towards the feet. Maybe you cup the heels. Maybe you just reach for the outer feet, completing a circle in the body from the heart out to one side and the other, all the way down the spine, connecting at the feet and the hands. Come back. I released in my flame what I needed to release to find space. I'm ready now. Fill my space with what I need to receive. Big breath in, shoulders round. If it's there for you, maybe you stack the palms on the spine. Let the weight of the elbows deepen the stretch through the shoulders. Again, releasing those shoulder blades, the shoulder tips. Let the weight of the arms bring space behind the heart. If your wrists are flexible, maybe you find prayer hands right behind the heart. Giving yourself a breath on this beautiful day, shared with worldwide kindred hearts. Take a full breath in. Let that breath go out the mouth now to everyone here. Sigh it out. Relax. And then we'll release the prayer or the hands behind the back if you have them. Plant the palms right underneath the shoulders. Tuck the toes under and press yourself up. And as you press the torso up, begin to press the hips up towards the sky and walk the hands in towards the feet. Knees can be bent as much as you need to, and maybe remove any props here. So just take a moment to find some length in the spine. Begin to lengthen the back of the calves and the hamstrings. Maybe sway. Again, any movement that feels good in your body. Belly is in. Breath is soft. And then nice and slow, press into your feet, bend your knees deeply, roll your way up to stand. Allow the arms to come out to the side, up overhead. Maybe the gaze follows as you find a little back bend. And draw your hands to your heart. Close down the eyes, soften the shoulders. We're going to step to the top of our mat and begin half sun salutations. And we're going to take them for 20. So again, remember, knees can be bent. If you can't forward fold all the way, just bring your hands to your thighs or your shins. Let your body move here. So walk to the top of your mat, hands to prayer, feel your feet. And as you're ready, Take the inhale, arms out, arms reach up through heart center now. Third eye, lips, heart, belly, right through the chakras. We fold. Hinge from the hips. Half lift, heart shines forward, shoulders back. And then drop it down, bow to your mat, to your practice, to Mother Earth. Bend the knees, press to the feet, rise back up. Reach out and reach up. And then take it down again through heart center. This is number 2. Bow down, release the head, shoulders, and arms. Find that half lift, straight spine, crown of the head, tailbone, opposite directions, and release the breath and fold. Press into the feet, bend the knees. Let's rise up. Let's reach out. Let's gather it all in, above, and to the heart. Inhale and exhale. Inhale, lifts, and exhale, falls. All the way up. And reach out and up, and hands to prayer. Pause here for a moment. That was 5. The next 15 on your own. Your breath, your movement might be slower or faster. Move through your moving meditation here 15 times. Inhale, and just keep it flowing. Exhale. I have 5 more. You take your time. And as you finish in your own time, there's no rush. We'll meet in our prayer Tadasana. Finger pads, palms, heel of the hand, press together, uniting one side of the body to the other. The thumbs press the prayer into the heart space. The shoulders soften. Take a full breath here. And let it go. For our next 20, you can take anything we've done here. We're going to add on a plank and a dog. So remember, child's pose is always there for you, right? Don't let the ego, its breath and its movement and its feeling into this very special time. So as you're ready, inhale, lift the arms up. Exhale, maybe this time you swan dive forward, arms out to the side, hinge from the hips as you fold. Big breath in, spine goes long, crown of the head, tailbone stretch apart, and then we release down. We plant the hands, the right foot steps back, the left foot steps back. Plank pose here, press into the palms, heels back, chest forward, deep breath in. And on your exhale, take it up, hips up and back to your dog. Full breath. And as you let the breath go, bend into the knees, come onto the fingertips, look at those thumbs and just walk yourself to the top of the mat to a forward fold. A half lift and a fold. And then bring yourself all the way back up. Reach it out, reach it up. Gaze goes to that prayer, that intention. Bring it to the heart. Soften the shoulders. Building heat. Inhale, we reach up. Exhale, maybe swan dive again forward. As you're ready for the in-breath, belly in, spine long. Exhale, we fold forward, plant the hands, left foot back, right foot joins, plank pose, set it up, strong strength, press into the hands. Then send the hips back, downward facing dog. Big breath in, come up high on the toes, bend the knees, look at those thumbs, step, jump, or hop, your choice. Top of the mat, we find that fold and that lift and that fold. And then we bend into the knees and we press and get the energy out of the earth as we rise up, just like those flowers that we planted in the spring. Find the stretch, hands to heart. Take a moment, deep breath. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, bow down. Half lift and fold. Hands plant, right foot back, left foot back, plank pose. Lift the hips, dog pose, stretch it out. Back of the legs to the arms. Look forward, come up on the toes, bend the knees, step, jump, or hop, forward fold, top of the mat. Half lift and fold. Then rise up, arms out, arms overhead. Gaze, maybe the back bend, and bring the hands to the heart space. All right, inhale. Your choice now, any way just to move. Exhale, hinge and fold. Half lift and fold. Plant the hands, left leg back, right leg back, plank pose. Press up, dog pose. Press into those palms. Look towards the thumbs, bend the knees on the toes, walk, step, or hop, top of the mat, forward fold. Half lift and fold. Then bring it all up. Gather it on the sides, up above to the prayer, maybe the back bend as we bring it into the heart. That's 5. Can you give me 5 more on your own? Inhaling, I'll start us, and exhaling, you take it. Don't lose your breath. If you lose your breath, take it down to a child's pose. Gather it all back in, and then just resume. No hurries, no worries, no rush. The beauty of this pose and 108 sun cells is that you can do 20 in the morning and 20 after lunch, and then finish up anytime during the day. It doesn't have to all gather at once. I have two more just for the count. That's my breath and my movement. Yours might be totally different. So just continue with your flow. Finish pretty with the breath, with the prayer into the heart. Shoulders soften, face softens, eyes closed. Feel into the feet. Feel into the heels and the balls of the feet. Feel into the blade edge and the inner arch. Send the shoulder tips up to the ears and squeeze them down the back. 3 breaths here. We're going to take 5 rounds of a sun with a half lunge. So you take what you need. This is it. And then we start to bring it back down. Almost there, my friends. Deep breath in, gather what you need, bellies in. Let the go breath out the mouth. Here we go. Inhale, reach up to the skies. Exhale, your choice. Swan dive or heart, hand center, forward fold. Half lift and fold. Plant the hands, block or your mat. Right foot steps back, drop the knee, lift the hands up. Anjaneyasana, offer the heart. Exhale, circle the hands down and around. Frame the front foot, step it up to your fold. To your half lift to shine the heart. Inhale. Exhale all the air out. Plant the hands, block or mat. Left leg steps back and drop the knee. Inhale, reach the arms up. Anjaneyasana. Maybe the back bend as you extend to the heavens. Circle the hands down. Frame the foot. Lift the back knee. Step it forward to your fold. To your half lift. To your fold. Press through your feet, bend your knees, bring it all up, arms out, arms up. Maybe the back bend, hence the heart. So that's your flow. Right knee, left knee, inhale, reach. Exhale, release everything as you forward fold. Half lift and fold. Plant the hands, left leg back, drop the knee. Inhale, arms reach out and up. Circle them around. Bring the front foot. Tuck the back toes, lift the knee. Powerful. Step it forward to your fold. Half lift and fold. Press into the feet, bend the knees. Let's bring it out and up. Reach it all in to the heart. 3 more on your own. As you switch sides, we just come up to that half lift and then we step back and drop the knee and rise up, body up to this heaven, circle it around. As you finish both sides, you lift that knee and step it forward to your fold, to your half lift, to your fold, and bring it up. 3 more, hands to heart. Again, inhale, extend, find that fold that works for you. Lift the chest forward, tailbone back. Let it go. Plant the hands. Right foot steps back, drop the knee, arms lift, bring it up. Circle it around, frame the foot. Back knee lifts, step it forward. Take a half lift and a fold. Left side, left leg back, drop the knee. Lift the heart, lift the arms, lift the gaze. Circle it around. Plant the hands, lift the back knee, step it up. Forward fold. Half lift and fold. Then use the energy in the feet, bend the knees, draw the body up, the arms out to the side, overhead, hands to heart. Give me 2 more, nice and strong here. Inhale, lift. Exhale all the air out as you tuck the belly in and fold. Half lift and fold. Right leg back, drop the knee. Here you go, lift the arms. You know where you're going. Feel it here, circle around. Lift the back knee, come forward. Find the breath as you lift. Drop the hands, back knee, lift and lift. And circle. Pull it forward, half lift, fold. Bring it all the way up. I think we have 1 more each side, so take hands through, prayer, heart center. Fold forward, half lift, and refold. Plant the hands, send that right foot back, drop the right knee, lift through the side body here, all the way up. Reach like you could ignite those fingers up there, right? Big breath. Circle it around, frame the foot, lift the back knee, step up to your fold. Find your half lift, find your fold. Left side, left foot back, drop the knee. Arms up, reach, maybe the back bend, circle around, frame the front foot, tuck the back toes and lift the knees. This time, my friends, we're gonna send the right foot back to meet the left, downward facing dog. Take 3 full breaths in your dog. Press those hands away like you could press them into the mat and forward. Let that bring the chest towards the thighs. Get some weight out of the wrist. Maybe walk out the heels. You don't have to touch. Just begin to bring some length into the back of the legs. Of course, the belly's in and tucked for the spine. The shoulders, we just kind of roll them down. I used to say, roll the triceps. The cue that I learned was see if you could bring the underarms to face each other and know what that does to the shoulders. So press out the feet. Use your breath. We're bringing it down. You're almost done. Celebrating this day with millions around the globe. Couple more presses, heel to heel, press through the palms. Nice and easy here. Release the knees to the mat. Shift the body forward like a knee plank here. So shoulders come back over the wrists, knees are down, right? Good. Lift up the feet. Can you see me? Probably not. Just, you're in a knee plank. So we just pick up the feet. Just take a couple twirls through the ankles, point the toes, flare the toes, flex the heels. Belly's in, we have a nice straight spine. Take a couple more. And with those palms firmly planted, and draw the elbows in so the eyes of the elbows either face each other or forward. The wrists are parallel with the top of the mat. The belly draws in nice and strong. We're coming down halfway. Inhale and exhale. Bring it down. Press into the palms. Bring it back. 3 more. We didn't do any chaturangas. We didn't do any cobras. So just 5 of these, halfway. And as you press back up, drop the balls of the feet back down to the mat. Big toes together. Send the knees wide this time, child's pose. Sink the hips, lots of space for the torso to come between the legs. I like to stack my palms, send my elbows as wide as I can and as forward as I can. So I begin to feel the triceps relax and the soft tissue, the lymphs under the arms, the chest. And lastly, I come back to the breath. Start to bring the breath down. And you know, even if you're out of breath, what a good thing, because you can feel that life pulse in you. So begin to inhale through the nose, exhale slowly. See if you can even it out. Notice what comes up. And you know what? Welcome it, whatever it is. I hate this, or I'm never going to do this again, or what. No, just notice, enjoy it, embrace it, let it go. Full breath. 2 more. Big breath. Let the shoulders sink down. Release what you have to release. So you make space for what you need to receive. 1 more breath. And then nice and slow, we'll bring those palms again back underneath the shoulders to press the body up, to bring the knees together, to come back to the all fours, just to kind of rinse out the spine, just a couple cat-cows. So do it mindfully, press into those palms, round through the shoulders, belly's in. And when you're ready for the in-breath, let the belly fall, the tailbone rise, the heart rise. And then draw it in, tailbone, low back, mid back, round through the shoulders as you tuck the chin. 2 more. And back to a neutral table. Take a breath. And then we're just going to walk the knees forward, finding a seat, cross-legged or legs out in front of you. If you joined me in releasing to the flame the mantra of whatever you wanted to release. If your paper's there and you see what you want to bring in, take that piece of paper, give it a little kiss, place it in the flame. On the River Ganges, they sell the puja bowls, where you put your intention, your wish into the bowl with a light flame with flower petals around, and you set it in the river to let it sail out. So feel that. Feel what you want into a flame. Release it into the water. Bring your hands to your heart. Take a moment, soften the shoulders, tall spine. Big breath in. We'll finish with 20 quarter sun sounds. When you're ready, feel the sit bones connect to the earth. And this time, with your hands at prayer, send the prayer straight to the heavens, up. Big breath in, and as you exhale, draw the hands down and back into the heart. And pause. We're going to take 20, so on your own, whatever you want to bring in, send the request up, open up to what there is, and then draw it all back in. And that's 2. I have 2 more. You take whatever you need. As you finish, just rest the hands lightly on the thighs. Again, gather length through the spine, gather the belly in, shoulder tips back, face nice and soft. Close down the eyes. Just feel into yourself. Feel into this new season. Feel into the longest day of the year. And as you rest with breath, can you feel into the millions of hearts that gather with you today? International Day of Yoga. Bring peace to ourselves first. Take that peace to the family, to the community, to the nation, and to the world. Draw your hands to prayer. We'll close just as we started. I apologize, I sent my book away. You're right where you need to be on your path, guided, in just the right place for you today. Many times on my journey, I stopped short, convinced I would never find the place I was trying to find, only to discover it was right in front of me all the time. I had gone there instinctively, gone right where I needed to go, right where I was heading. There is a part of us that knows where we need to be and understands what we really want to go. There's a place of us that has a map, even if our eyes and our conscious minds can't see it, can't figure it out, or aren't certain it's there. If you're spinning in circles and feeling lost and confused, trying to figure out where you need to be and not at all certain where you're going, please stop. Breathe deeply. Look around. You're right where you need to be. Maybe you've been there all along. Take a moment in gratitude for the inner wisdom that brought you to your mat this morning. I thank you for practicing with me and with each other and with all our brothers and sisters around the world. Enjoy this next season of summer. Namaste. Thank you. And as we make our way down onto the back body, again, finding that support maybe for underneath the head, lifting the chest, opening up through the collarbone. Just take whatever leg position here feels good. With knees resting on each other and the feet wide. Again, if you're just getting up and the low back feels a little tight from the 108 sun salutations that you did yesterday, take constructive rest pose. Let the knees rest. Let space come into the whole pelvic bowl, the low back, the sacrum. Close down the eyes and just take a moment to arrive. Arms can be reached out and away from the body. Or maybe if you need a little more grounding, if you're got a lot of chatter happening in the mind, you place the palms belly to heart. And there, just let the mind trace the breath through the body as the hands rise and fall. Big breath in through the nose, inflating all the way down to the belly. And then release the breath slow, release the body slow. And just welcome yourself to your practice. One more inhale. And one more exhale. And if you're in constructive rest, heel toe the feet to center. Remove whatever prop you're using underneath the shoulders or the head or the knees. Come back, take a full body stretch. Again, just feel into the long line, toes to the fingers. And then leaving the left leg long, draw the right knee in towards the chest. Nice and easy, just draw it in. Circle through the ankle if that feels good, or point and flex. Just bringing a little blood flow to the toe joints, to the ankle. And then release the clasp and just bring the arms back out to a T, this time palms down, reaching the fingers away. And with that right knee hugging in towards that outer chest, begin 3 slow circles. So that right knee comes up by the shoulder, out to the side, down towards the feet, and then we draw it slowly back in towards the chest. So take 3 slow movements through the hip joint. And finishing that round, reverse it for 3 slow circles. And then draws it back in. Again, we're not using our hands here. We're using the power of our hips and our core. Find your resting tree. Bring that right sole of the foot to rest right inside the left inner thigh. Right knee falls off to the right. And again, if that block is handy for you, or the towel or bolster, to slide underneath that right thigh. Allow yourself to come to a place of stillness, of no effort, just ease. One more breath here. Nice full inhale through the nose. And as you exhale slow, we'll begin to deepen that hip stretch by bringing that right ankle to rest on top of the left thigh, just above the knee, not on the knee. That right foot is flexed. And with the elevation of the ankle, there's more depth for that right knee to fall. So again, if you need the support, slide something underneath the thigh so that the weight of the leg, the knee, and gravity can do all the work. 3 deep breaths here. Last breath. Release any clenching now. Let those hips be heavy. And then bend into the left knee. Plant the left foot right next to the left sit bone. So coming into this figure 4 shape here. Make sure that right foot is flexed, toes pointing back towards the shins. Use the right fingertips lightly inside the inner thigh, just to send the right knee away from the body. Any amount to begin to create some space from the front of the hip to the side of the hip into the glutes. Maybe a little rock. Maybe a little exploration on this side. So if you release those fingertips, allow that right knee to fall in towards the chest. And maybe with that left hand, allow it to come over towards the left shoulder. So a different kind of a stretch from that low back through the outer hip. And if you're using the hand, release the hand and let the knee go back. Come to neutral first, both hips level. Then send the knee towards the bottom of your mat without the use of your hands here. Engage your core, engage all of the muscles of the hip flexors. Belly is in and the breath is flowing and the knee presses away. Big breath. And then as you're ready, pick up that whole leg structure and draw that right shin in close to the chest. So coming into all fours, now you can interlace around the left hamstring or even the left shin. Whatever does not bring tension into the upper body. So recheck, shoulders, face, upper body at rest. As you draw in the shin, take a moment to just bring all your focus to the right hip. See where you can release the muscles just a little more and more. Soften through the pelvis as the tailbone rests. One more breath. And then release the clasp. Arms back out to a T. This time let's bring palms up. So reach the fingers away. Left foot comes back down towards the mat. As we glue the legs exactly as they are, we're going to drop the knees over to the right. A gentle spinal twist. Shoulders stay nice and level on the mat. You can slide that left foot out and away to deepen the stretch, bringing the knees closer to the mat. And using the weight of that right ankle resting on the outside of the left thigh, just bring your focus from the hip through the IT band down to the knee. And just rest there. 2 breaths. Engage the core. Everything comes back to center. Re-level through those hip points. Draw the belly in. Take it over to the left now. So the right sole of the foot is going to make its way to something. A block, the floor, your mat, just so you can make a connection. I like to take my left hand to wrap around the right ankle. Just allows me to secure the foot so that when I ask my knee to press away from my body without any force or use of hands, my foot is stable. When I find my end point, maybe then I take my right arm overhead, rest on the back of the right hand, reach through the right fingertips. Now notice where you feel the stretch and take a nice deep breath in and a slow breath out. Right hand returns. Left hand takes away from that ankle. Bring the knees back up to center. One moment to just sink through the hips and then release the ankle, knees coming to chest. So anything that feels good here, let that tailbone rise with you. Nice stretch in the low back, maybe rock. And we'll extend the right leg long. Hug the left knee in. And then we'll release that. Bring the arms to cactus, goalpost arms now, palms up, resting on the back of the hands, back of the forearms. As you take the in-breath, nice slow circles. Left knee out to the left, towards the bottom of the mat, and draw it back in. Working right into the hip. The rest of the body is at ease. It's nice and still. Use your breath. And then when you're ready, we'll reverse it. Nice 3 big circles. And then making our way to resting tree pose on this side. Bring the sole of the foot inside the right inner thigh. Let that left knee fall open. Different side here. This one might need a little more support. So notice, are you trying to hold the weight of that leg up? Prop something underneath the outer thigh so that, again, the hips stay level. You create all of the space and it's gravity and weight doing all the work. Let yourself open. Beginning to deepen this just a bit. We'll pick up that left ankle, Prop it on the right thigh, just above the knee. Make sure you keep a flex in that left foot. Let the left knee fall deeper. A little bit more opening through the front and side of the left hip. And again, permission to prop that knee up. 3 big breaths. On your next in-breath, keep the ankle where it is. Take a bend into that right knee. Bring yourself to the figure 4. So the right foot plants. Use the hands on the inner thigh to gently send the left knee away. Create some space there, right in the front of the hip. And then, just like what we did, release that and let that knee fall in towards the center. Maybe using the right hand now, draw it across the body towards the right shoulder. Breathe into the stretch in the back of the left glute. And we'll gently release that. Allow the knee to go back to neutral. And then without the use of the hands, maybe the knee goes back further, a little further towards the back of the mat. Take a full breath. And on your exhale, lift the legs, bring them in towards the chest. As they arrive, maybe interlace around the right hamstring or the right shin. Upper body soft. As you release the body, just bring the focus to the left hip. Taking nice deep breaths, nice slow exhales. Allow the hips to be heavy. One more breath. And then we'll release that clasp. Right foot comes back to the mat. Legs stay just as they are as we drop the knees over to the left. So here again, the weight of the ankle on the outside of the right thigh. Allow the knees to come down towards the mat. Slide that bottom foot out and away. Shoulders stay soft and level. Notice where you feel the stretch here. Full deep breath in. Slow breath out. 2 more. Big breath in. And out. Last one. On the next inhale, bring the knees back up to neutral. Just level out the hips for a moment. And then send the whole leg structure over to the opposite side. So the left foot comes to the surface of a block or your towel or the floor. Right hand might wrap around the left ankle. Take a moment here as you arrive to send that knee to point it up towards the ceiling. If it's comfortable there, maybe you encourage it to just take a little bit further towards the back of your mat. Use your breath now, wherever you are. Take a full breath in and an exhale. And then reaching the left arm overhead now. So your back of the left hand reaches away from the head. Soften the shoulders and the face. Breathe through the whole side body. And then we'll release the left hand back down. Right hand releases from the ankle. Draw the core, knees back up. Unravel both knees into the chest. Squeeze in. Again, let the tailbone ride with you. Pause. And as you squeeze in, the tailbone rises. Maybe the shoulders, the shoulder blades, shoulder tips, and head rise off the mat, forming a nice, tight little ball. And then inhale, nice and slow. Shoulders and head come down. Feet come down. Open up the knees right and left, finding your supine Baddha Konasana cobbler butterfly pose. So draw the heels in close to the inner thighs. Again, resting palms on the belly and on the heart. Maybe pick up the chest a bit so you can squeeze the shoulder blades together, dropping the shoulder tips away from the face. Close down the eyes. Soften the breath. And if you're here for the 20-minute practice, they'll join you in 2 breaths, all of us together. And then invite yourself to just turn off your device and stay for a couple more minutes before you greet the day. All of us here, full deep breath in and slow exhale. Inhale and exhale. And for those of us continuing, take 2 breaths on your own. And then we'll bring our hands to the outside of the thighs and gently draw the knees together. Back into the chest. This time, resting the hands lightly on top of the knees. We're going to send the knees away from each other to the side, down towards the bottom of the mat, and then draw them straight into the heart center. So big, wide, down and in. And as you do this, it's an internal or external rotation of the hip that I want you to notice, from the tailbone rolling up the back, rolling through the spine. Reverse that action now. Take it all the way down to the tailbone, roll it in. 2 more. And then 1 more squeeze in. Bring the hands behind the knee crease. We're going to rock and roll our way up to a seat. So if this is not comfortable on your back, please take a fetal position to the side and bring yourself up. So otherwise, we're going to tuck in. We're going to begin slow. Use some momentum. Core and more. Maybe with the momentum, as I fall off of my mat, you bring yourself to balance first. Belly's in, shoulders back, chest is up. Beautiful. And then we'll find our all fours. In our all fours position, again, please enjoy something underneath the sit bones, just to get that nice pelvic tilt and to allow the knees to relax beside the body. Resting the hands comfortably on the thighs. That imaginary wall that's behind us, lift those shoulder tips up and back so that they're resting on the wall. Back of the head, doing the exact resting. So we have this nice, proud, tall structure here. Take a moment, just drop the chin to the chest. So we're not falling forward. It's almost like you're doing a double chin here. And notice the back of the neck. Notice whatever space you might be creating there. Notice any tightness that you might need to just breathe a little bit deeper, a little bit longer, to allow the nervous system to relax, to allow the neck, the top of the shoulders, the shoulder tips to relax. Take a full breath. Let it go slow. And then on your inhale, slowly bring your head back to neutral. Release the hands to the side of the body. Inhaling nice and full. Lift the arms out to the side, up towards the heavens. Hands find prayer. Bend the elbows, send the prayer to the back of the heart. Squeeze those elbows in. Send the prayer back up and drop it to the front of the heart and release. So 4 more times, inhaling, we're doing this slow, we're reaching, expand, 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 lift up, bring the palms together, bend the elbows, thumbs touch the back, nice stretch into the triceps, and then send it up and bring it in. 3 more on your own. Use your breath. This one, as you bring it up, find your prayer. Tap the prayer to the back. Reach it back, re-extend. Tap the prayer to the front. Soften the shoulders. And then drop the palms to the mat. So before we go anywhere, please check the spine. Nice long spine. Belly, pelvis draws in and scoops up. So we're going to maintain the length in the spine and the neck like one long rod. Walk the hands forward. So as you walk forward, the tendency is that the sit bones are going to roll with you. Okay, so let's not go that far. Once you find that the sit bones are trying to press forward, press back into your palms, draw that belly in, sink the hips back. So in doing this, belly's in, little pressure in the palms, hips going back. Begin to notice maybe some length in the low back. It's a lot of tightness. When we begin to open up our hips and our hip flexors, it begins to open up the low back. So here is an opportunity to just begin to feel into that area of the body. Take a breath in again. See if there's any more room to draw the belly in, and maybe the invitation to walk it out a little bit more. So keep the neck right in line with the spine. Keep the spine nice and long. Soon as you feel like there's not a connection with the seat to the mat, just press into those palms. You'll begin to build that length through the whole back body. And we breathe into that. 3 nice, deep, full breaths. Each breath softening through the chest. Each exhale, maybe the tissue under the arms, a little closer to the mat. One more here. Big breath in. And on the exhale, let's take those hands off the mat over towards the right, just beginning to work into the left side body. So again, reach those left fingertips further away on a diagonal. Nice stretch from that left hip, rib, shoulder joint, elbow and wrist. And use your breath here. Use your breath to see where you're clenching, See where you can soften, see where this is going to feel good. And exhale. Now we're going to keep the torso over here on the right. Just walk those fingertips back towards that right knee. The left hand's going to hook right outside the knee. We're going to take the right hand behind us. Gentle spinal twist. Press into the backhand. Get nice and long. Then turn your torso towards the side wall. Then turn your gaze towards the side wall. So you're going to get a lot more range of motion when the shoulders go first and then the head, because then the neck feels really protected. Take a full deep breath. Let it go. Soften shoulders. One more inhale. And on the exhale, keep the left hand where it is. Reach the right arm up towards the ceiling. Again, find that extension. Then take that right arm overhead. So elbow stays back. Begin to open up the chest, the heart. Let the head either dangle down for the neck, down towards that shoulder, or maybe take the gaze past the elbow. So you decide how it feels best in your neck. If the leverage of the left hand is too much on the thigh, you can always slide it down to the shin or the ankle. Just maintain the stretch here through the right side body. One more breath. And as you exhale, let that right hand drop over towards that left knee. So the elbows crisscross at center. Again, drop the chin to the chest. Nice, tall, straight spine. Just feel into the back of the neck. And the next breath, pick up the hands. Let's find your eagle arms. So options here. If you don't want to bind this morning, just give yourself the big hug, hands to the back of the shoulders, lift the elbows, or just press the forearms together. Or if you want to double bind, right around the wrist, take the palms together. Lift the elbows up wherever you are. Draw the belly in. And on your inhale, hands away from the face. Inhale, reach the fingertips up as you begin to arch through the spine. When you're ready for the exhale, as slow as you can, begin to round to the spine, tuck the chin. The elbows start to come in towards the ribs. The hands come down towards the mat. The crown of the head falls. Arriving here for one full breath on the inhale. As you breathe into the back body, feel the expansion between the shoulder blades. Exhale, soften in, let the shoulders relax. One more inhale here, big inhale. Breathe into the back lungs, back ribs. Exhale, melt everything in. And then as you're ready for the inhale, we're going to rise up nice and slow. So beginning to straighten through the spine, elbows coming up, fingers reaching up, gaze reaching up. And then return to center. Unravel, open up the arms, just make some circles, and we'll switch the crossing of our legs. Beginning, finding all that length in the spine, sit bones firmly rooted, hands come down to the mat. Again, the same thing, straight spine all the way through the crown of the head here. We're going to begin to walk it out. So again, depending on how tight you are on one side, you may not walk down, doesn't matter. What matters is you press into those palms to send some weight back into the hips. You draw the belly in. You slide the hands to wherever you begin to feel the stretch. So it's not just the hip stretch. This comes into the low back, all the way up the spine. Use your breath, soften where you can soften. And as you gather that belly in, maybe there is more room to slide forward. And when you feel the hips want to roll with you, again, gentle pressure in the palms, lengthen the arms, send the hips back, and feel the length in the side body and all through the low back. One more breath, just like this. Exhale, slowly see if there's any more room here. Big breath in. And as you exhale, let's travel it off to the left. So as you arrive here, the torso is towards that left thigh. Reach the right fingertips away on a diagonal. And notice here, from the rounding of the glute through the right hip, right ribs, shoulder, wrist and fingers. Take the full deep breath. And then again, soften where you can soften. Three breaths here. And keeping the torso on this side, begin to walk the fingertips towards that left knee, pressing your way up. Right hand's going to hook right outside the left knee. Left fingertips are going to come behind you. Press into the fingertips, get nice and tall. Then rotate the shoulders to the side and then the head. Take the full deep breath here. Then let the shoulders soften back down the back. Maybe here you play with your optic muscles, see how far back or up or down or to the side. One more full breath. And then as we inhale fully, left arm's going to go up towards the ceiling first. Reach and find all the length. Then take a side bend. So the left finger is coming over the head towards the right. Again, knowing you can adjust that right hand if it's not comfortable outside the thigh. Bring it to the shin or the ankle. Just find the space you need here, all on the left side body. Elbow goes back, and again, your choice. If you want a little bit of a stretch for the neck, just let that right ear, right shoulder kind of relax. If you want to gaze up towards that left elbow, find your breath. Nice. And then we'll release that. We'll bring the left hand over towards the right knee. So the elbows again crisscross at center. Tuck in the chin, find some length here in the back of the neck. Sit tall in your spine. And finding our eagle arms here, any variation now, hugging in, squeezing forearms, or if it's there, your bind. Elbows come up shoulder height, draw the hands away from the face. Gather the belly in, take a nice full inhale, lift the fingertips up towards the ceiling. And exhale, slowly begin to curl in. Tuck the chin, round through the spine. Elbows draw in, crown of the head lowers. Arriving here, let the shoulders curl in, draw that belly in. And then take a deep breath into all the space in the upper back body. Big breath in. As you exhale the breath, again, relax the body in and down. One more big breath in here. And exhale, release. And when you're ready for the inhale, big breath in through the nose. Begin to straighten through the spine, lift the elbows, lift the fingers, lift the gaze. And then draw it back to center, open yourself up, give yourself a roll. Beautiful, let's do a little flow now. So nice and easy, come to one side. We're gonna make our way to standing at the top of the mat. So any way that you wanna get there. Maybe here, your blocks on the top of the mat. I'm just gonna adjust the camera, so no issues here. As you arrive to the top of the mat, again, maybe blocks. The feet hip distance apart. Looking down, pick up all 10 toes and spread them wide. And then set them down, pinky toe, slowly all the way to the big toe. As the pads of the toes hit the mat, close down the eyes. Notice those toe pads. Notice the balls of the feet. Slide some weight into the heels. Back into the balls of the feet and the toes. So subtle that if I was looking at you, I wouldn't see the movement. Now draw your hands to prayer at heart center and shift the weight, blade edge of the foot into the arch, blade edge to the arch. And then slowly finding your true center, equal distribution of weight, a slight bend into the knees. Flowing some half sun salutations here on your inhale. Reach the arms out and overhead. Find the prayer, bring it through heart center as you forward fold. Knees can be bent, hands can come to those blocks. Halfway lift. Lift the heart, the collarbone towards the top of your mat, nice straight spine. And then release and fold. And then inhaling, press into the feet, bend the knees, roll your way up to stand. Reach those arms out and up, hands to heart. Pausing here, soften shoulders. We're going to take 5 more. So each movement, a long breath. Don't rush this. Inhaling, reach up overhead. Exhale. Slow down. Inhale, that nice L shape with the body. Draw in your core. Exhale, fold forward. Let everything dangle. Press into your feet and bend the knees and roll your way up. Arms out, arms reach up. Hands to heart. 3 more now without cueing. I'm not going anywhere. Take 3 more on your own. As you complete, Your last one. Flow the body back into prayer Tadasana. Nice and easy. Take one more full breath. We're going to move into our low lunge sequence, Anjane Asana. So as you're ready, inhale, reach the arms out and overhead. Exhale, take a swan dive forward, arms out to the side as you forward fold. Halfway lift on the inhale. And on the exhale, hands to blocks or to the mat. Step the right foot back and drop the back knee. Untuck the back toes. Inhale fully, lift the arms up towards the ceiling. Reach and extend first. Then circle the hands down, frame the front foot, tuck the back toe, lift the back knee, step it forward, forward fold. Halfway lift on the inhale. Let it all go on the exhale. Plant the hands, left foot steps back, drop the left knee, untuck the toe. Your choice. Inhale, reach those arms up, extend up, big breath. Circle the hands down, frame the front foot, tuck the back toes, lift the back knee, step it forward, forward fold. Halfway lift and fold. Press into the feet, bend the knees, rise up, arms out, arms up, hands to heart. Same sequence, but we're going to just add in a half twist. So as you're ready, soften shoulders. Inhale, reaching the arms out and up. Swan dive into your forward fold. Halfway lift. Exhale, fold forward. Plant the hands, right foot steps back, drop the knee. Inhale, reach the arms overhead, just where we were. Circle the hands down. This is the add-on. Plant the right hand, lift the back knee, take the twist. So left arm comes overhead, stack through your shoulders. Again, keep that left knee hugged in. Don't let it splay out. Beautiful. Take a breath. 3 circles through the arms. Inhale. And as you exhale, just draw that arm down towards the mat, up and back. And as it comes back around, we'll frame that front foot, take a hop off the back foot, forward fold, top of the mat. Halfway lift as you inhale. And exhale, we fold, plant the hands, left foot steps back, and drop the knee. Inhaling fully, Anjaneyasana, lift it up. Circle the hands down. Plant the left hand inside the foot. Lift the back knee. Take your twist here. Stack the shoulders. Reach the left fingertips up. Keep that, the right knee in. Big breath. Begin to circle the arm here. Nice and slow. Big circles. And then we'll bring that right hand inside. So both hands now are inside the right foot. Press the hips up and begin to walk yourself to the long edge of your mat. Pigeon toe the feet, toes in just a bit, heels out. Again, draw the belly in, hands right underneath the shoulders. Nice, straight spine. Take the breath. And then begin to walk the fingertips forward, holding the rest of the body steady and still. So as we crawl the fingers forward, shoulders, chest, heart begins to relax closer to the mat. Use your breath here. The deeper, longer breath will send the invitation to the body that maybe you can crawl those fingers out a little bit more, finding all the space in the outer shoulder joint, all the space between the vertebrae. Take a full deep breath. And then walk the hands back underneath the shoulders. Flip them around so you're still on your palms, but your fingers are pointing behind you. And then take the walk here. So now, again, leg structure isn't moving at all. The crown of the head is coming down towards the mat as the reach of the fingers brings the shoulders closer to the mat. Keep a micro bend in the knees. Then use your breath. Big stretch. Soften into wherever you can soften. Nice. Walk those fingers back underneath the shoulders, flip them back around. Let's just take a couple side lunges just to wash this out. Again, straight spine, bend the right knee, shift the weight. Press back to your central neutral, take it the opposite way. And again. And again. So just easy breath, easy movement. Next time you're over to the right, hold it right. Gather the belly. 2 more breaths. Come back into your neutral. Take it over to the left. We're going to hold here. Any amount of a stretch. Sink it a little deeper, maybe. Noticing your breath. Then press it back to neutral. Then take one more wide angle fold. So here again, let the arms dangle. Keep a slight bend in the knees. Head hangs. And then press back into your palms and begin to walk yourself back to the top of your mat. Both hands will now frame that front foot. Send the front foot back to a plank pose, meeting the left. Find a nice firm plank, fingers spread apart, hips, shoulders in one line, heels go back, chest rises. Full breaths here, deep breaths. Let the trembles, let the wobbles happen. Stabilize your muscles, my friends. Press into those palms. Keep active arms. Big breath here. One more. You got it in you. And as you let it go, drop the knees. Shift the hips back towards the heels, knees together, child's pose. So as you begin to come on to the heels, good. Let the hands rest by the outside of the feet, palms up. As you round over the thighs, allow the shoulder tips to release and let go. The chest to just relax. The forehead resting either on a block or your mat. Connect that third eye and maybe take a little rock there, one side to the other. Bring your focus to your breath. With the knees together, very hard to breathe into the front body. So we use this time to teach ourselves that 360-degree breath, the side ribs, the back ribs, the space between the shoulders. 3 full breaths here. Everything rounds in. And then slide the hands back underneath the shoulders. Press into the palms to lift the torso. We're just gonna hop over onto one hip so that we can bring the feet around. Beginning to make our way onto the back body. Hands maybe behind the knee crease so that you can tuck the chin and begin to roll down nice and easy onto the back. And bring those knees in with you. Again, let the tailbone come. No arch in the spine. We want to have the whole back feel the support of the floor. Take a rock side to side along the sacrum. Releasing the hips, we'll find a happy baby here. So taking the knees wide, just reach the hands inside the legs for the outer edge of the feet or the ankles, and just bring the soles of the feet up. Knees at a 90-degree angle, draw them into the side body. And this time I ask you, set the tailbone down. So a different kind of a stretch there. The feet press into the hands press into the feet. And always the option here to just use the forearms around the knee crease to create the same stretch. Take a couple rocks, one side and the other. And then begin to bring the feet straight in the center of your body there. And see if you can straighten through the legs. Any amount, drawing the inner calves together, the inner thighs. Again, option to just hold on to the hamstrings or the calves. Draw the feet overhead. Again, tailbone now, pressing down, making an imprint on your mat. And just like we were going to move into that floating cobbler pose, overhead, the balls of the feet come together, the hands direct the feet down closer to the mat, releasing the feet. Blade edge comes to rest on your mat, knees wide. Prop where you need to prop. Again, hand to the belly and a hand to the heart. Pick up that chest, squeeze the shoulder blades under you. Pick up the head just slightly so that you can tuck that chin in. And as you close down the eyes, soften around all the muscles, the temples, the forehead, everything around the eyes. Relax. Release the jaw. Release the tongue. Feel the breath move through the upper chest under your palm. Deepen the breath, the inhale, so the palms rise. And as you exhale, slow, it's like a wave moving from the shoulders through the upper arms, the wrists, and the weight of the hands. The inhale brings space into the torso. You feel the body expand. And as you slow the exhale down, Can you feel it melt? Hips, glutes unclench, belly gets soft. Soft opening through the pelvis, the inner thighs. Press the heels and the balls of the feet together. Flare the toes out and away. And take one more full deep breath here. And a slow exhale. And let the feet soften. Bring the hands outside of the thighs, draw the knees together. Slide the left heel down towards the left corner of the mat, the right heel towards the right corner. Let the feet just dangle. Hips heavy. Maybe if you have a weighted sandbag or a blanket, to just bring a little bit of weight into the hip point area. Send the arms wide away from the body, the palms up. Again, if you want to squeeze those shoulder blades underneath you, just create a lot more space between the ears and the shoulders. And then just let yourself be held. Eyes closed. Safe and secure. Your breath, your body, your practice. Shavasana. Okay, guys, I'm going to leave you here. I said, welcome to Fridays. Friday being the day when all of us join in the 20-minute practice all week long, and it just kind of culminates into a nice flow for Friday, just to jump into the weekend. Today we'll do the 20-60. So we'll work into a modified gentle flow on the mat, and at the 20-minute mark, those of you that have to depart, click off your device. You can find the full 60 minutes on our YouTube channel later. So as you come down, please take a block or pillow or whatever to support the back of the head. I am using a rolled up towel to place across the bottom of my shoulder blades so that I get a nice lift into the chest and the collarbone. And the beautiful thing about a heart opening pose at home, because sometimes, you know, we come down to the mat and there's a little bit of resistance, maybe for whatever that reason, that the heart isn't ready to open. And in those particular cases, I like to start in a child's pose where we're all just centered inward. But if it's there for you, please elevate the thoracic spine. Support the head so that the chin is not dropping or flowing up to the ceiling. If it's there for you, take butterfly pose, soles of the feet together, knees wide, big opening through the pelvic floor, inner thighs. Support the outer thighs if you need to. And maybe some days we take that constructive rest where we take the feet wide as the mat and drop the knees in. I can't tell you what your body needs. You feel into that. And as you find that place of stillness, all I ask is just drop down the eyes, Place the hands around the heart and the belly. And as you draw the deep breath in, really focus on the belly, the chest rising under your palms. And as you exhale, hips heavy, breath leaves the belly, leaves the ribs, the body kind of inflates, but at the same time, it melts and relaxes. And as you're ready for the in-breath, take that new prana, chi breath into the body. Let it fill all the way, chest, ribs, belly. And then release, belly, ribs, chest. Constricted breath, our ujjayi, this allows the mind. It is a 20-minute practice for those of you staying for the 20. So allow the mind to rest on the movement of the breath as it comes in and out of the body. Take this moment for yourself. Set aside any to-do lists, unanswered texts, emails, bill paying, groceries, who cares? This is your time. And even if you observe this time for 20 minutes a day, just like this with breath, I promise you, it's the most powerful yoga practice you will ever have. 2 more full rounds of breath. And as you release slowly that last exhale, depending on the leg structure, if you're in constructive rest, heel toe the feet to center, draw the knees together and roll to one side. If you're in cobbler, use your hands here. Don't use your inner thigh muscles yet. Use your hands, press the thighs together. We'll roll over to one side, and we're going to make our way all the way over to all fours. So I have a nice thick blanket on my mat. It's a little chilly here this morning, but if you need to pad up your knees, please unroll that towel or whatever you've used, and we'll bring ourselves to table. And as we arrive in table, we spread the fingers wide. The wrist crease parallel to the top of the mat. Maybe the eyes of the elbows roll in towards each other or towards the top of the mat. Just getting some movement through the shoulders. We draw the belly in. We draw the pelvic floor up. So a little bit of a tuck into the pelvis. Again, press into the palms to find the roundness through the shoulders. It's a big setup here, but it's worth every breath. So as you're ready, let all the air go. And then fill the breath with body. Tailbone rises, belly drops, heart lifts, gaze towards the top of your mat. Nice arch in the spine. As you're ready for the exhale, begin to tuck the chin as you press into the palm, round through the upper shoulders, round through the entire mid-back, low back as you tuck in the tailbone. Take a nice 3 or 4 just to wash through the spine and to notice, to really notice, every day it's going to be different, how the spine is. Inhaling slowly in one direction, exhaling in the other. Last one, take it nice and slow. Roll through each vertebrae. And we'll all meet back in your own time into that neutral table. So again, that Mula Bandha, we'll talk about this more and more. Pelvic, abdomen, core, in and up. Spine is fully supported. Let's take the left leg out to the side to find that gate pose. Toes pointing forward. So just take a moment here. Just notice the left heel, notice the right knee. Okay. Hands underneath the shoulders so that the right shoulder and the knee, right knee, are in line. Good. So with those toes pointed forward, begin to circle through that left knee. So we're going to take it slow. Knee bends, top of the mat, circles out to the side, behind, and back in. So beginning to just open up the left hip joints. Notice again, did you drop the core as you begin this practice? Did you lose the mindset? Can you listen for your breath? Reverse this action. And just be into all the feelings that you're feeling. It might be in the wrist right now. It could be in the inner thigh. It could be in the outer hip. Notice what you notice. And then bring it back. Left leg, nice and straight. Again, press into that heel. Inhale, belly comes in, press into the palms as you round through the spine. My right toes are tucked. They don't have to be, but I tucked mine. And then I shift my hips back towards that right heel. Not all the way, we're not going to rest, just enough. And then rise back up. Take two more. So maybe you notice the right quad, the left inner leg, and the release through the wrists, inhaling back. You take three. Just pay particular attention where in the body this is landing. And then use your breath. See if that changes after a long exhale. Okay, last one like this, flowing. So as you come back up to what we would call this neutral position, reestablish that core engagement, drop down to your forearms. Number 11 here, spread the fingers wide, relax through the wrists. Inhale, belly drops in. And as you exhale, send those hips back towards the right heel. You're gonna hover. So you decide, your choice, how much intensity. And you'll know that by the best teacher in the world, which is your breath. So just sinking back and letting the weight of the lower body, the weight of the legs and hips and gravity to just sink you into the pose. And your only job here is to breathe. Belly in. Full breath in the nose. Slow breath out of the nose. On your next inhale, we're going to bring it back up to center and replant the palms underneath the shoulders. Taking that belly in and up again, let's take that back leg and lift it so it's even with the hip. And as it's even with the hip, maybe you balance on that left hand so that you can bring the right hand to the sacrum. And notice that that left hip is trying to like curl up to compensate for the weight that the hip is carrying here. So the back leg extended, all 5 toes down. Maybe like a 3-legged table. Draw the belly in. And then as you're ready, left knee is going to come in towards the chest, nice and slow. Maybe we round as we press into the palms like our cat pose. And then re-extend, nice and slow. This time point the foot, arch through the spine, lift the heart. We're going to take 4 more, nice and slow. Draw that knee in towards the chest. Curl in. Inhale. Knee straightens that left leg. Reach through the toes. 3 more. Last one for me. I'm going to squeeze that knee into my chest, round forward. Maybe my forehead comes closer. And then re-extend back into that 3-legged table. This time flex through the foot. Draw in the breath, square off the hips. Take a full breath. And just to ignite the core just a little bit as you press into the palms, squeeze the elbows in towards the body like they could touch each other. Good. And as you do that, big breath in, belly's in, bend into the elbows, nose comes down towards the floor, float the left leg up towards the sky. And then nice and slow, press back up, let the toes tap behind you. Reestablish your core, bring that foot up hip level. We're going to take 4 more. So squeeze the elbows in as you lower the chin or nose to the mat, float the left leg, and then press your way up. 3 more on your own here. Notice whether you're falling to one side or the other. Maybe right hip stays right over the right knee. Float that left as much as you can as you squeeze into the left glute. Last one. And as you finish that, left knee comes to the mat. Sink the hips back for a moment. Just transition here. Hips go back towards the heels, knees together. Slide the hands aside the body, palms up. Rest the forehead. Relax the shoulders to curl in. As the chin tucks in, begin to notice the rounding of the spine. From C1, the very top by the skull, with that chin tucked, there's length in the neck. With the shoulders totally relaxing, dangling towards the floor. Notice the space in the back of the upper shoulders. Breathe into the low ribs in the back body. And sink the tailbone down towards the heels to find a little bit of space in the lower back. Take 1 more breath. Big breath in, expand that whole back body. And as you exhale, nice and slow, just feel the body melt down. 1 more breath, your breath. And then we'll pick it back. So slide those hands back underneath the shoulders, press into the palms. We're going to come back to that table. Feel free to flow any cat and cow movement that your spine, side body might need. And then we'll return to that neutral table. Mula Bandha, pelvic floor scoops in, belly, everything in and up. Spine is nice and straight. As you press into the palms, you feel those shoulder blades separate. You feel the space there across the upper trapezius. Belly's kind of tucked in, as is the tailbone. Right foot's going to just extend off to the side. Gate pose, second side. So again, we check in first, right? Look at that right heel. Draw a line to the left knee. Notice your wrists right in line with the line of your upper mat. Roll the eyes of the elbows towards each other or forward. Drawing in the belly, nice straight spine. And we'll begin little circles here. Right knee forward, out to the side and back. Working just inside that right hip. So the rest of the body, there's really not much movement. All the focus, that femur rolling through the hip joint. Take it the other way. Are you breathing? Are you drawing in the core to support this table position? And as you finish that last one, return not with a straight leg, but a micro bend in the knee always. Reestablish yourself on your mat, shoulders over wrist, belly in. And then we'll begin. Drop the hips towards the left heel, any amount, and then lift up. So we're going to take 4 as slow as you can. And for me, my quad engages my right inner thigh. I also feel it in my wrists. I let the head stay in line with the spine, so my neck, there's no tension here. Take 2 more sweeps back and forth. Nice. And the last one, we'll bring it up. Just taking your time. I'm with you. Good. As you return to that gate position, take the right leg behind you. So again, we want to just make sure it's even with the hips. So maybe shift the weight to the right hand. Take the left hand to the sacrum, the shelf between the hip points. Level it out. If you point all 5 toes down, that kind of helps lower that right hip. Good. Squeeze the elbows in. We're going for 5. Nice, slow. Nose to the mat. Float the right leg up. Press up to come back and return. 2 more. Nice and slow. Power in the shoulders. Lifting up. Coming back to that 3-legged table. Pause there. Re-engage the belly. And then knee to nose. So point that toe behind you. Again, press into your palms. Draw the knee in towards the chest as you curl everything around that thigh. Inhale, sends it back nice and long. Extend the toes. Open the heart. 4 more on your own. Draw the knee in. Press it out. Your breath, your body. Take 2 more. And as you finish that last one, pause there. Bend into the right knee. Bring the knee to meet the left. Walk those knees out as wide as you can. Wide, wide, wide. Sink those hips back to the heels. Wide like a child's pose. Take the arms in front of you, maybe on tented fingers. So we're going to do an active child's pose first. So we reach, reach, reach. If you're by yourself and you're exploring this pose, it's really interesting to hear your thoughts when you bring blocks underneath the hands so that the palms rest, the fingers on the back side of the block, but you have so much more room to drop the chest down, to find some extension in the soft tissue of the other arm, to lower the heart, to lower the forehead, and to just simply breathe. We're at the 20-minute mark, so please, if this is your practice, turn off your device. 3, 5 minutes, hopefully you have a nice, beautiful playlist. Enjoy this time before you step off the mat into this beautiful weekend. Namaste to you, my friends. For those of us staying for the 60, reach one more time through the fingers. Let the chest, let those shoulders, I hate to use the word collapse, but I want them to dangle. No wasted energy here. Full breath. And then taking those fingertips that are in front of you, just kind of press into those palms a little bit just to lift the chest. We're going to take thread the needle from child's pose. So that right arm is just going to feed itself underneath the body, over to off the mat to the left, reaching as far as you can. Drop the temple, drop the right shoulder tip down to the mat. So we have lots of room now between the legs to just let the pelvis and the belly drop as we bring our focus up towards the shoulders. Take a full breath here. And with that left hand, you can experiment, you can explore, walking it forward to the left corner of the mat, really reaching through those fingers and feeling that extension like it was one line, hip bone, all the way to the finger pads. I like a little bit deeper, moving my fingers over to that right corner of the mat, which helps me roll onto the right shoulder tip and opens up the heart just a little bit more. But wherever you're feeling the spine, the stretch through the side body, that's where you're going to stay. 2 breaths. And then we'll walk those fingers back to the left corner. Take that long stretch one more time. Then pick up those fingers, bend the elbow, bring the back of the left hand to the back body or to the right sideways. So the back of the hand's going to press into the body. Easy though to rotate that upper shoulder tip back, to open up the chest, to open up the heart just a little more. And here again, you follow your breath. If it's slow and fluid, the body moves slow and fluid. If it's choppy and fast and upper chest related, it will be reflected in your practice. So even out your inhales, even then to your exhales. One more breath. If you're in the bind, we'll release that bind. Bring the left palm right outside of the face. Take a moment to press into that palm to lift the torso up. Slide that right hand across your mat. Maybe take it out to the side, maybe up for a little bit of a counter stretch. Beautiful. And then back down. Stretch both hands now back towards the top of your mat. Sink the chest. Extended child's pose. Big breath in. Slow the breath down. And then we'll press into those palms just to lift the torso enough that this time left arm can just kind of slide underneath the body. We're keeping it at the left shoulder height, right? So it's not on an angle, it's not dangling down. Right out from the body. Walk those fingertips out. See if you can come down gingerly onto the left shoulder tip, the left temple. Right hand can stay right where it is, or you can walk it to the right corner of the mat, reaching for the side body stretch. If you explored it on the other side, maybe walking those fingertips over to the left corner, using that to help the upper body rotate open to the right. 2 full breaths wherever you've landed. Next inhale, we'll walk those fingers to the top of the mat. We'll draw them back, bend the elbow, send that arm up, and we'll find that half bind. So back of the right hand to the back body, or maybe it even slides over to the left waist. Press into the back of the hand lightly just to encourage the opening through the right shoulder tip. Elbow goes back. Full deep breath. And then we'll release that bind. Allow the right hand to come right outside the face. Press into that palm to release that left arm back out to the side, maybe up overhead, just finding a different stretch through that whole shoulder. And then bring the hand back. We're going to work our way into a Sphinx pose. So walk the hands forward, forearms to number 11. Bring the hips down towards the mat. I'm going to see if I can do a side for you. You stay right where you are. So as we come into Sphinx pose, which is considered a very passive back bend, right? Give a little shimmy to your hips first. You can even pick up the heels and do a little bit of a windshield wiper. That's a little bit deeper internal, external rotation through the hips. Just see here what you can release. And then drop the feet down to the mat, the width of the legs, any amount that makes it comfortable for you. As you press your palms into the floor and you drag energetically the palms towards you, the elbows towards you, let that begin to lift the space between the belly and the sternum. Gaze is right between the thumbs. We're going long, we're not going high. Full breath into the front body, feel the expansion there. And as you exhale, can you soften the shoulders down the back and feel the arch there, that passive back bend. Big inhale, press into the palms and the elbows, drag them back towards you as you gaze forward. And then on your exhale, again, just release that. Release the effort. One more breath. And then do a little shimmy of the hips once again. Plant the palms right in front of you, stacking one on top of the other. Allow the forehead to rest right on the palms. So again, elbows go wide. Why? Because we want soft tissue of the underarm to drop down. We want the chest to expand and lower. Working all the lymphatic fluids here that are stored in our underarms here. So take a moment. Big breath. And then on your next breath in, press into those forearms to bring the torso back up. So the arms are still in that number 11. You can clasp the hands at the center of your mat. We're going to move into a forearm plank here. So if that offers you more leverage to interlace and to really press into the forearms, I encourage you to take that. Otherwise, just make sure the elbows are underneath the shoulders and the arms are parallel. So whatever works for you here. When you're ready for your inhale, tuck the toes under behind you, press into your forearms and elbows, and lift the hips off the mat. Draw the belly in. So we want the hips to be about the same level as the shoulder tips. We want the navel drawn in to support so we're not sagging through the spine. We send those heels back so we find length. The tailbone lengthens back. All the muscles in the back of the legs engage. And at the same time, we draw that core in. We lift the heart towards the top of the mat. Your gaze is straight down. Your neck is in line with your spine. We're going to be here 5 breaths. Some nice long breaths here to tell the body it's in a safe place. Big inhale in and exhale out. Press heels back. Inhale in and let it go slow. 3 more on your own. And as you finish that last breath, let the knees fall down to the mat. Let the hips begin to sink down and rest on the mat, the low ribs and the upper ribs. As you return, the forehead, the last to come down onto the palms. Untuck your toes, maybe flatten out your feet, pedal them out. And as you draw another breath in, lift the head slightly. Send that right arm straight up to the top of your mat. Take your left hand into a push-up position just to roll over onto your side body. So the right ear, right bicep might rest together. You might bend like you were watching TV into the elbow to just hold on to the head and the neck. Take a moment here, just feel some length in the side body, particularly if you're up using the elbow and the head holding. And then release that arm, re-straighten it, drop the head down, take a full breath here. And then we're going to bend into that top leg. Reach in your leg for the outer foot. So it could be the ankle, it could be the calf, or it could simply be the knee crease. It doesn't matter. On your left side, bottom arm extended right overhead. The bottom leg can be bent or it can be straight. Take the breath in, any amount. See if you can straighten through the left leg, any amount here. And maybe you just encourage it by moving some dynamic pulses. Or if you're like me, sometimes just holding it and using my breath just allows me to open up a little bit more in my own body time. The invitation will be there. We just have to look for it. Beautiful. We bend into that knee. Bring the hand to the front of the ankle or the shin. If you're watching me, my knee is going to stay low to the ground. I'm going to circle it out to the side with the glute and the heel coming back behind me, holding on to the shin or the ankle, pressing the heel into the flesh of the glute. It's getting a little bit of an opening through the quad here. Again, the more you can free your breath, the more you can free your body. So soften the shoulders, unclench whatever you're clenching. With that top knee pointing straight down to the back of your mat, is there any more room here as you soften into the pose to send that knee a little bit further behind you? Knee is still down, it's not way up in the air. This moves us more into a quad and a hip flexor stretch. So soften the upper body, use your breath here. We'll be here for 2. And then slowly we'll release that foot. Draw that knee back into the chest as you're still on your side body, squeeze it in. And then we're all going to roll onto our belly. Keep that knee bent. And as you come onto the belly, the knee extends right out from the hip, right? So we're in half frog here. The hip bone, the knee, the ankle, the toes, all at a 90-degree angle. Take a full breath and see if you can just lower the pelvis down. A different kind of a stretch into the hips. Full frog being much more intensive. One more big inhale. And exhale. So resting the head on the bicep, take that left arm out to the left, straight out from the shoulder joint. See if you can collapse the shoulder joint down, almost like hyperextending, but you're not in the joint of the elbow. You're just lowering the left shoulder joint. Big breath. And then from here, we're just going to slide that left hand towards the body. Keep the knee position as it is. Allow yourself, as that hand gets closer towards you, to use it like as a push-up to roll over onto your back body. So the knee stays out to the left. Maybe the hand comes and holds it there. As you rotate the entire upper body, navel, torso, up towards the ceiling, extending the left hand in any manner, finding space across the collarbone, down the pecs and the bicep to the fingers. Full deep breath in. Slow breath out. Next inhale, that left arm is going to rise back up to the ceiling. It's going to come across the body, back over into a push-up position, which will hold you as you release the knee to let the knees go long, and you roll back into your Sphinx pose. So returning here, shimming out the hips. Sphinx pose again, fingers wide, dragging those fingers towards your body, dragging those elbows in towards you so that the chest lifts and you get a nice long spine. Big breath. And then we'll extend the left arm long to the top of your mat as you roll onto your left side body. Bottom knee can be bent, that's fine. Draw the right knee into the chest. Give it a squeeze. And then reaching that hand inside the leg, again, for the blade edge of the foot or the ankle, or just even wrapping the forearm. We're going to lift the right leg off on a diagonal, leading with the heel. Keep it as bent as you need to. It's cool here in the Northwest, so we don't want to pull any muscles going into our weekend. And remember, it's always the option, if it feels better for you to have more of a dynamic flow, heel coming down and heel extending, that's the option for you today. If it feels better for you to find the pose, any sensation, and then drop into it, that's your work. Your breath will tell you, use your breath. Next inhale draws that knee closer into the chest. We release the foot or whatever you're holding on to. Bring the hand to the upper shin or wrap it around the ankle. Keep that right knee low and in same line as the hip joint. Roll it to the left and down towards the back of the mat. So as you press your ankle into your hand, 2 for 1, guys, you get a nice stretch through the shoulder, through the whole entire right hand arm. But as you press the heel into the glute, you'll begin to engage the quads. We always have a tendency to overwork hammies and forget about the quads. So draw the heel in. Again, make sure that that knee isn't floating anywhere. Keep it straight in line. Take one more full breath, and when you're ready, if you want to explore, maybe that knee comes further back behind you on the same plane though, so that you begin to feel a deeper quad stretch, but also a stretch right into the hip flexor. So you do you. You take the intensity this morning that you need. One more breath. And then we'll slowly draw that knee back into the chest. Maybe slide the hands up closer to the knee. Squeeze it in. And then we're going to release the hand to a push-up position on the right side of the mat so that we can roll onto our belly. Keep that right knee bent. So as you arrive here in your half frog, kind of gaze that the hip and the knee are in one line, the knee and the ankle. And again, flare those toes back towards your shin. And just take a moment here to just relax the body down. See if you can sink the pubic bone down just a little bit more. Elbows go wide, so we also create a lot of room across the sternum. And we just use the breath. Our job is simply to breathe. Nature, gravity, weight takes care of everything else. One more breath. Then we're going to bring that right hand just outside the face. You keep that bend into the right knee. As you press into that right hand, roll back onto the side body, and then take it all the way over so the knee stays planted, but the shoulders and the chest rotate up towards the ceiling any amount. Finding that T position with the arms. If this side's tighter, use that block, bolster, pillow underneath the arms. The twist is happening in the upper torso. So it's not necessary that the shoulders come completely down. Any amount just to open up, you'll feel the pecs here and the biceps all the way to the finger. Take a full breath. One more inhale. And then when you're ready, float the right arm back overhead, back over towards the right. As you come onto the side body, again, that knee stays out as you return to that Sphinx position. So the chest comes down towards the mat, the elbows underneath the shoulders, and then just draw that right knee in to meet the left. Take a nice little shimmy, or like we did before, the windshield wiper does better for you. And then come back down, release that, tuck the toes in, palms right underneath the shoulders, squeeze the elbows in, press your way up and back to a child's pose. So here, knees together, child's pose. Let the hips sink back. Tailbone lowers. Extend the arms forward. Maybe interlace and press the palms away from you. So just beginning to open up through the front of the wrist to the palm and the finger joints. Press the palms away, but let the shoulders and chest and belly all relax on the thighs. And then sweep those arms out to the side, right and left, all the way down to the feet. Maybe you can grab your ankles or just the outside of the calves. Shoulders round in, head, hips, heavy. And in this big curve of the spine, bring the breath back of the lungs, side ribs, back ribs, expand through the shoulder blades. We're here for one more round of breath. And then we'll release that. Take the palms again right underneath the shoulders. Press your way, your torso up. Tuck the toes. And as you press the torsos up, walk the hands back towards you. So my big toes, you might not be able to see them, are together. My heels are wide. I'm resting on the balls of my feet, but I'm fully supported by my fingertips. So just notice in this modified squat how the calves feel, the dorsiflexion in the front of the ankles. You're not going to sink the heels, but see how it feels to lower the heels any degree, activating all the muscles in the calf. Take a breath. Let it go. And then pressing into those fingertips, we're going to lift the hips up. Keep the bend in the knees so that the belly can rest right on the thighs. Drop the head, dangle the arms. Forward fold, back of the mat. Use this time now to sway, stay down, just find some movement. Here, we're just wanting the spine, the gravity to bring length to the spine as you're dangling down. The arms dangle just to release any pressure you might have felt into the shoulders. Just release that. Make some movement. And then coming back, again, feet parallel, hip distance apart, belly is resting on the thighs. Walk the hands forward and find a downward facing dog. So in your down dog, wrist forward, press into the palms to get the weight out of the wrist as you send the hips up towards the ceiling and then press them back. Heels don't have to come down. Maybe here as you draw the belly in, you gaze towards that belly button so that the head hangs. Pedal out your feet. A little bit of length in one leg and the other. Couple more times. And then we'll meet in stillness in our dog. So take a moment here. Press into the palms again, like you could energetically send them away from you, and notice the space it brings to the shoulders. The chest drops, the hips get higher. Your job, 3 full rounds of breath. Last one. And on your next inhale, come up onto the balls of the feet. We're going to flow right into a full plank. So again, you can come into a squat first to round the spine, then lift yourself up, roll those shoulders towards the top of your mat, shoulders over wrist, plank pose. On your inhale, press into the palms, send the hips back, dog pose. Strengthening the shoulders here. Inhale, wave the spine forward, plank pose. Exhale, press into the palms, dog pose. Gently lower the knees to the mat. Walk the hands, one handprint in front of you. Sink the hips back first to find all the length into the whole shoulder girdle. Then come back up to your table. Flow it forward into that modified half, up dog. And then send it back into your child's pose. So just flow through the body here. Inhale, rounding the spine up to your table. Exhaling, arching the spine as you lift the heart. Bring it back to your table, to your child's pose. And then nice and easy, we're going to follow this all the way to dog pose. So inhale to your table. Exhale, hips come down, chest comes forward. Big breath here. Come back through your table, toes are tucked. Lift the hips up to the ceiling and back. Dog pose. Float it forward one more time. Plank pose. Return to your dog pose. And here again, just pause or find some movement. Pedaling out the feet. Returning now, still downward facing dog. Press the palms away. Bend the knees, come up to the balls of the feet as you look towards the thumbs and walk the feet to the hands. Hang in a forward fold, top of the mat. Head dangles, arms dangle. If you want to bring a little more weight into the fold, just cup your elbows at the weight. Those elbows deepen the stretch. Full breath. If you want a little more length in the neck, maybe you interlace around the curvature of the skull, not the neck. And again, as you interlace, draw the elbows down. You're not pushing, you're not pulling. You're just using weight and gravity. Full breath in. Slow breath out. Then we'll release the hands back to Mother Earth, however you have it. Notice here, can you get all effort out of the shoulders? Just let them droop down. And then vertebrae by vertebrae, we're going to press into the feet and bend the knees. And we're going to roll our way up to stand. As slow as you can go, shoulders and head. The last to arrive. Finding here, mountain pose, Tadasana. So in your Tadasana, arms beside the body, palms are facing out. Maybe we close the gaze of the eyes. Maybe we notice that the shoulders need to come up and round down the back. Notice any clenching in the glutes. Can you just allow the body for just this moment to be soft? Set an intention. Send out a prayer. Wish somebody good health. And then keeping whatever that wish is right inside the heart space, we're going to flow 5 half sun souths. I'm going to lead the first 2. I invite you then to do the last 3 on your own. On the inhale, let's take those arms out to the side, overhead. The hands find prayer. We send the prayer up as we extend to the fingers, and then bring the prayer down through heart center. Take a fold. Everything hangs. Then as you draw the belly in with your next breath, inhale, get nice and long. Hands can come to the shins or even the thighs. Press into that, shoulders roll back, elbows come in, and then refold, let it go. Press into the feet, bend the knees. As you're inhaling, reach out, reach overhead. And then continue, just draw the prayer through your heart center to forward fold. So we're not going to stop here. We want some fluidity here. Nice and easy with breath. Bring it up on your inhale, arms out, arms up. Find that prayer, take it back, and then draw the prayer through heart center again, forward fold. Half lift and fold. And then bring it all back up as you're ready for the inhale. Scoop all the energy that's around you into the prayer overhead. Bring it in, drop it down. 2 more on your own. And as you rise up and finish prayer Tadasana at top of the mat, take your time. As you arrive, soften the shoulders, soften the face, release the jaw. Lift the kneecaps so you engage the quads, and maybe at the same time you feel the glutes engaged. Draw the belly in and up. Soft shoulders, hands of prayer. On the inhale, reach the arms out and up. On the exhale, this time swan dive forward. So arms reach out to the side, straight spine all the way down. Halfway lift. Fold it forward. Both hands plant. Right foot, left foot steps back. You're in your plank pose. Pause there. Heels back, chest up, belly in, straight spine. Big breath. And then as you release the breath, release the knees down to the mat. Squeeze the elbows in. Bring it down. Baby cobra, nice and easy. Untuck the toes. Press into the top of the feet and the pubic bone to lift. And then lower. Inhale, we lift, light in the hands, and we lower. And the last one here, lift up, maybe this time, lift the hands off of the mat. Gaze is straight down and notice your breath. Big breath in. Beautiful. Plant the hands, tuck the toes, shift it back, all the way to child's pose. Last back stretch here. So reach those fingers as far forward as you can. Sink the hips back as far as you can. And let the chest sink. Heart melt as much as you can. Next breath, walking those hands back into the shoulders. Press the torso off of the thighs. Set the hip off to one side. Beautiful. And then we'll plant the feet in front of us. Cup behind the knee crease. So again, straight spine to begin with. Use the hand behind the knee crease to draw the chest up, to have some length into the spine. So once you find that, keep the shoulder tips back. Then just drop the chin down. We're not going anywhere. Begin to feel as you lower that chin down and in. Some space, maybe through the cervical spine. And breathe there. Shoulders back. Belly engaged. Chin in and back. And then keeping the chin just as it is, begin to release whatever grasp you might be holding onto the back of the legs. Use it just as a guide. So we're going to begin to curl in the spine, making our way down to the back body. So we want to lower so that the low back and then the lower ribs, mid back, and shoulders arrive. And you draw the knees into the chest, squeeze them in. Take a rock with the knees into the chest, side to side, hip point to hip point, shoulder point to shoulder point. Feel into the back body. And then coming back slowly, again, a little bit of a tilt to the pelvis so you can feel that low back resting on the mat, fully supported. Bring the hands behind the knee crease again, and like it's one leg, big toes, ankles, calves together. Use the hands behind the legs, extend the legs up towards the ceiling, point the toes. They don't have to be straight. So just like a legs up the wall, point the feet, soften again. The whole upper body's at rest here. Shoulder soft, face soft. As you point the feet, feel the flesh, feel the opening in the top of the foot, the opening in the ankle. And then take a flex, heels high, toes point down towards your head. Flare the toes and then re-point up, toes flare, and then reflex. Squeeze the toes in maybe as you point and flex, a little 2 for 1. Toe joint, ankle joint. Nice. And then roll through the ankles. So roll the feet away from each other. But here I want you to notice if your whole legs are moving. Everything is stationary. The work is right into the ankle joint. Your breath is super flowing fluid. Reverse that action. Draw the knees into the chest. One final squeeze. Then crisscross at the ankles. So if we were going to be moving into a seated pose, you would crisscross at the ankles. Spread the knees wide as you draw the heels down, just like you're in a floating seated pose right now. Knees are wide, back is straight. Then lower the feet, crisscrossing at the ankle to the mat. Now here you might want some bolsters because when we release the knees here, this is a really nice stretch through the hip flexors, through the pelvis, down into where the quads join. So again, if it's not comfortable for you, you can also take butterfly pose, soles of the feet together. This is a little more intense for the hip flexors. So if you can relax here, maybe a belly hand and a heart hand. Closing down the eyes. Take a moment, lift the chest to squeeze the shoulder blades underneath. Then come back down to rest. Your own rhythm of breath here. Just feel it. Move through the body. Listen to it with the mind. And use the sensory of the palms to feel that energy moving in and through you. We're here for 5 breaths. Release the forehead and the tissues and muscles around the eye. The jaw releases, the tongue releases. The tips of the shoulders just kind of fall away. Notice the heaviness in the back of the arms as they rest on the mat. Notice the movement underneath the palms as your breath comes into the body and out of the body. Bring your focus to the hips and notice, because the tendency is to clench them here. Can you release the glutes? And as you release the glutes with your breath, and you begin to feel maybe a little bit more sensation into the hip flexors. And as you release the weight of the legs and the knees to the mat, even if supported, don't feel like you're holding anything up here. Take a full breath in. Release the breath slowly. Again, full breath in through the nose. And let it go slow. And as you complete this last round, you get to choose. Do I stay here? Would I like a more traditional Shavasana? Would I like to throw my legs up on the coffee table or on the edge of the couch? You take your final resting pose. Take your time to get there. Maybe bolsters underneath the knees, eye pillows, sandbags, maybe a rolled up towel underneath the neck. Inflate the body with a full deep breath and pause that breath at the top. Open mouth, exhale everything out. Pause, there's more. One more pause and press out the air. We call that the stuck energy out of the mouth. And with your eyes closed, return to your own rhythm of breath. Enjoying the next few moments. Body, soul, and mind. Shavasana. This is where I'm going to leave you. So spend as much time as you can. Turn your device off. If you're in cross-legged pose, be super careful coming out. That is a big stretch. So use your hands and roll to one side as you're ready. And it doesn't have to be right now. I will see you guys on Monday. Let me know over the weekend in an individual text if you like the 2060 and if we can incorporate it so that those that can get on and off the mat as needed are able to do so, but those of us that might want a longer practice, we can do the same. Enjoy your weekend.